Honestly, by the time this video is out, it's probably gonna be around the time we're flying out. So you guys are probably wondering, why am I leaving for a year? Well, quick backstory, if you guys didn't know this about me, I actually traveled before by myself for 2 years from 2016 to 2018. And at the time, I was really longing for adventure and I wanted passive income to fuel my life. Like, I didn't want to be stuck at a 9 to 5, not able to really freely live my life. And I also knew that I didn't want to spend all my money on travel and then just come back, work really hard and save up again, only to spend it all again. So I was really trying to build that financial freedom for myself. So I worked really hard on building passive income side hustles. I gave myself a deadline by buying a plane ticket about 6 months out to figure out my money situation. I even got 2 more part-time remote positions, and then eventually I quit my job and traveled the world for 2 whole years. And I was able to convert my full-time position to a part-time remote one as well. So I had 3 part-time remote positions while I was building passive income on Etsy, merch by Amazon, blogging, Kindle books, Amazon FBA. Like, I was doing a bunch of different side hustles. So if you guys haven't seen my side hustle videos, make sure to check those out. It was definitely a really scary process, quitting my job and like doing all these different things, because nobody else around me was doing those things, right? And I was just doing it by myself. My parents were telling me not to do it because it's really scary. It's not safe for a solo female traveler, but I was really determined and it ended up being one of the best decisions of my life. Now, back then, I actually met my ex on the road like halfway, and I was kind of long distance and meeting up with him in different parts of the world, and we would nomad when we could. So even though most of the 2 years was by myself, I got a little bit of that experience of nomading with a partner. And now that I'm married to Sean and we both left the 9 to 5 world, I'm really excited to do this with him. Now, if you guys are wondering exactly why, so let's just get into the financial reasons, right? So first, I actually always thought it would be financially savvy to travel the world instead of live like in the Bay Area where I'm from. So when I left, I was living in the Bay Area where it's like extremely expensive, and I moved to Dallas last year, but compared to the rest of the world, a lot of the US is way more expensive. The US dollar is one of the strongest currencies in the world. So by working online and then living remotely, I would be able to spend less, but also really live life. And another thing we're gonna do is rent this place out. So this was something that was always on my mind, that I would live here for maybe a year or 2 and then see where else I would go, and I would just Airbnb this place out as a furnished rental. So it'd probably become a midterm rental, but we are in the process of setting this property up right now. It is kind of sad because it is like our home, but essentially I know that if I do these Airbnb house hacks, I can dramatically increase my wealth and I can come back when I want to, if I want to. So it's something that actually does give me options, and if we rent this out, we can make up for the mortgage plus probably cash flow, especially with this property, because the interest rate was pretty low when we bought it. This was before the high interest rates that it's currently at right now. And then back to the point of living somewhere else and how much that actually costs, spending on travel doesn't have to cost that much. Like when I was abroad for those 2 years, I actually spent an average of $1,400 a month. I actually wrote down every single expense and I was tracking every single country, how much it costs when I was living there, and I realized it wasn't that much. Even in Chiang Mai, Thailand, one of my favorite places to visit, like I was there for 4 months, I only spent around $600 a month out there. And then lastly, in terms of financial reasons, there actually might be tax advantages while I'm abroad. We are going to consult with the CPA to make sure that is true. So I don't want to go into specifics yet, but that could be a reason as well. And then on to more personal reasons. So obviously I just want to experience life, especially before having kids. So Sean has never done digital nomading before, but I've done it. I really loved it, and I would like to share that experience with him. And this is really the opportunity to do that, because I know that when you have a family, it's gonna be a lot harder to be able to travel. And honestly, I'm more adventurous, I think. Like I sometimes get restless. So, you know, I moved to Dallas last year, but I'm already kind of like antsy to go to the next place. Sean is more of someone who likes to stay at home, but I think actually he came to me saying, let's travel for a longer period of time, which made me extremely happy. We had already planned that from November to February February, we were gonna go to Asia because we're taking a language immersion program in Taipei. So we already had it all planned, but then recently Sean is actually like, you know what, let's do this before we have a kid. So I just got extremely excited. So after Taipei, we're probably gonna keep traveling for a month at a time in different locations, maybe even longer. So I'm really grateful he's down because we do have kind of different personalities in that respect, but he's usually pretty down to go with me to different things. It would definitely be a problem if I enjoyed going out and he never wanted to go out with me, or if I want to travel and he's like, no, I don't want to do it. He's usually like, all right, let's go, let's do this. I think though, when I travel by myself, I'm probably more brave. Like I will go say hi to random people because I just know that nobody knows me. So I don't have to really worry as much about judgment. But I think that when I'm with Sean, maybe I will be a little more worried about that. So we'll see how we socialize and meet new people. But I think that if we look up digital nomad meetups and things like that, we'll be able to make new friends. We'll just see how it goes. So right now I am pretty overwhelmed because we only have about a month to move, and we have like different things. Like we're gonna go to FinCon and we're speaking there, and we're also going to LA for BlizzCon because we like video games. But we have so much to prepare as well because we need to prepare this property, we have to pack everything, and we have to make sure we have everything booked where we're staying. And it's just a really big move. We're leaving this house that we've had a lot of great memories in, and it kind of makes me sad like thinking about it because I'm looking around and I'm like, wow, I am gonna miss this place. But I know that I can come back when I want to, so I shouldn't be too scared. And another thing is I've never traveled this long with Sean, so we're just gonna see how it goes. But I really think that I need to take these leaps, especially when I'm young. I get really fearful when I feel stuck, and that has been the reason for this whole journey. This has been the whole reason for this channel, right? I like to help people become financially free and help them become unstuck. I want them to have options to live the life that is true to their full potential. So despite the fears and the overwhelm and all these things we have to figure out, and not only is it for the move, but also for like our content, for our business, we have to make sure everything's okay. We have to figure out the mailing address stuff, where to store our car. There's a lot of different things to think about. So it's important to stay organized to make sure everything gets done. One thing that will also be different is we're probably gonna bring a big check bag because we are planning to bring our camera equipment so that we can film more content while we're out there. But with the check bag, we're gonna have more stuff to carry, and because we're gonna long-term travel more so, I think we're probably gonna do longer than a month sometimes. I think it'll be fine. We have 2 people too, so we'll probably have 2 to 3 pieces of luggage. And one thing too is if you guys have suggestions on what type of content you guys would like to see, like money related topics while I'm abroad, let me know in the comments because I am also unsure of what I want to make. Like what kind of content should I make while I'm traveling around the world? I was thinking of maybe interviewing people from around the world about money related topics. Now I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I know this is kind of different. It's a pretty big update, but if you guys like this episode, you'll probably like this episode where I talk about starting from 30K a year to millionaire by 30. So go ahead and check that one out next. Subscribe, hit the bell button to be notified of my latest videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one.